Alright, hey everyone, this is Ash. Welcome back to the King's Speech. So as I promised last week with the channel update, we are finally getting back to the read-throughs for Yona of the Dawn. I literally can't remember the last time I've actually done one of these, but I know a lot of my friends were reading the series recently, so I felt like now was a good time to catch up on it, especially because I also am a fan of the series. I've been meaning to get back to it at some point, so better late than never. Like I mentioned on the channel update last week, I'm going to try to keep those bi-weekly, so expect one sometime next weekend. Plans haven't significantly changed, I think, from what I mentioned in that one, so should have no worries with regards to that. So with that said, without further ado, we're going to dive straight into it with Yona of the Dawn, Volume 9, Chapter 48. Now, so I did recently reread the series, so everyone's names should be relatively fresh in my mind, but I am susceptible to brain farts, so if I forget someone's name, just apologizing in advance for that, because I absolutely probably will forget names at some point. So I think, I'm already starting off by forgetting. I think this is Yuna who's going, I think this should be enough. As you see, he's packing together some vegetables and sacks of herbs and other things. It is Yuna, okay, thank God. I cannot remember Priest Bro's name. Don't even expect me to do that, so we have Chapter 48 looking bad. And you see as he's carting away the fruit and vegetables and other supplies, you have Priest Bro going, Yun, it's like, where's everyone else? It's like, they're still asleep. It's like, heading out? It's like, yeah. Can I come with you? It's like, not a chance. Stay here. I'm doing this to make myself feel better, not out of the goodness of my heart. And you have that's not true. It's not. You're such a kind boy. He just kind of takes him in a little embrace and gives him a hug. And you see Fire Tribe Catan Village. And you have, it's Yun! He's like, Yun, it's been a while, how are you? And you see a bunch of kids all playing, and they come up to him for a hug. And it's like, I'm hungry. He's like, gotcha. I'll whip up something hot for you. And you see him going inside the house and going, how are things, Auntie Mei Li? I bought some medicine. And she's like, you're back, are you? I didn't think we'd see you again. And you hear another voice calling out, Yun! He's like, hi, Uncle Seidol. I'm glad to see you. It's been so long. It's the uncle's going, I'm glad to see you. It's been so long since you visited that I was getting worried. It's like, I was away for a while. How have you been? And Uncle goes, as you can tell, food stores are low. Most of us are sick or old. But despite that, our taxes have been going up again. And Yun's like, more increases? And they collect no matter what. What can we do though? And you see him trying to put on a happy face as he goes, I bought some supplies. I'll hand them out to everyone. And he's like, thank you. By the way, are those folks back there friends of yours? And you see and you see yawn, as Hawk's like sleepily kind of scratching himself. And you see Yona and everyone else just kind of all standing in the line looking all attentive. And you have Yun going, what are you doing here? And Yona's like, you snuck off, so we were curious. For God's sakes, I'm literally going to forget all of their names in this, aren't I? Gija goes, I was accompanying Her Highness. And you and you see Zuno's just kind of like rubbing himself like a cat on Sinha's little fur coat. It's like, Zito, accompany the Blue Dragon's fluff. It's so warm. And Yun's just like, get out. You have Huck going, Yun, I'm hungry. And Jaeha's like, Yun, could you make beefsteak plant rice grill this morning? Because you have a gurgle. And you see him just starting to get mad as a vein twitches and he goes, get out right now, you useless oafs. You see, wow, it really is warm as they all just kind of huddle under Sinha's little fur coat. It's like, right? It's like soft, fluffy warmth. It's like, are you listening, you strange beasts? It's like, and you're that close? And Yona's like, you're helping this village, right? I want to help too. It's like, no way, you stand out too much. And she's like, I'll do my best not to. And you see a sign saying red-haired princess, former general, and then strange beast. It's like, that's impossible. You stand up just by existing. It's like, listen, there are a lot of sick people here. It's not very safe. It's no place for a princess. And Yona goes, Yun, I'm a princess of Koka and the daughter of King Il. I think that's all the more reason for me to be here. I want to see the results of my father's choices. And you see him just kind of looking to support for the others. We're all just kind of smiling at him. And he goes, fine, give me a hand. The next page you see Scrub Scrub as Yona's washing some dishes in a nearby little, like, water trough reservoir thing. Jeff, it's pretty chilly. You don't have to stay, remember? And she's just like shivering. She's like, I'm fine. It's only cold. It won't kill me. Yeah, is this where you were born, Yun? And you see a walk faster, Zeno. I was like, that's impossible. As Jeha and Zeno are trying to lug some firewood or I think dropping off firewood for all the villagers. And Jeha went, oh, thank you. It's like, no, I used to do a lot of trade with the people in this village, but they've been struggling so badly that they don't have anything left to trade. I wasn't Jeha, I was like, Gija, sorry. My mind is just everywhere today. And he said, Kya! And Sinha's just getting accosted while his little kids are like tugging on his little fur cape. So I used to send food and medicine from time to time. Like vegetables, that was it. Iksu's the priest bro's name. Like vegetables I grew at Iksu's place. I was worried about the people here while I was away. I'm glad that they're all okay. And you said, sorry, this thing's still like Yona and Yun talking and Huck's like eavesdropping. Yeah, you said you don't like dealing with people, but you've been looking out for everyone here. It's like to make myself feel better. Poverty's everywhere on the Fire Tribe. For every person I help, there are plenty who starve. Even if I bring a day's worth of food, they still won't have anything the next day. There's no end to it. And you see him just kind of tending to and stoking the fire as he's cooking up a meal. And he goes, the root of it all needs to be changed. But knowing that doesn't mean I can make it happen. And you see hey, weird beast! And you see Huck and Jeha are on the roof repairing it and thatching it. Jeff, lunch is almost ready. Come down. You have Huck going, oh, I'm not hungry. I went fishing in a river earlier and caught a bunch of fish. I ate those. And Yun's just like, you what? It's like, if you caught that, man, you should have shared some with everyone else. He's like, yeah, my bad. And Yun's like, honestly, he's like, It's like, wait, what river? There aren't any around here. And he sees Gija also walking by with a huge load of firewood, and he goes, hey Gija, it's time for lunch. And with the most unconvincing expression, he goes, I ate some fish with Huck. I'm stuffed. As his stomach's gurgling away. And he's like, I can hear your stomach from here. He's like, that wasn't my stomach growling. It was distant thunder. It's like, nah, it's totally coming from you, White Snake. And you see, I think that was Jeha just threw a coil of rope at him. He's like, what was that for, you brute? And he's like, and Huck goes, you need to train harder. Teach your stomach to stop growling. Jeff, it's like, teach my stomach to stop growling. How do I do that? And you see Zeno coming by like, tighten up the muscles around your belly button. It's like this? And it's like, it's not working. And yours is growling too. Jeff, you guys sure are adorable. Jeff, stop laughing, Jeha. It's like, ugh, you're all idiots. So you're gonna eat, right, Yona? She's like, oh, I'm full too. You see her stomach's growling as well. So did you hear that? So you better believe I did. And then just start laughing at the absurdity of it. As you have Iksu. These people you predicted would shake Koka up are all idiots. But they're idiots who can laugh even when they're hungry. When they have to deal with bigger problems down the road, I bet they'll face those with a smile too. And you have a, hello there, may I bother you for a minute? And you see, a Fire Tribe official. Where can I find the village chief? And Yun's like, over that way, I think. And you see all the official along with a bunch of soldiers flanking him, striding off with a toomp, toomp, toomp. It's like something's coming. And you see Yun running towards Huck going, you have to hide! You have to hide! It's like, what's going on? It's good officials here with soldiers. It's dangerous, so you absolutely can't be seen. It's like, an official? It's like, let's have a look. It's like, don't show your faces, strange beasts. And you see a smash as Yona just comes running into all of them. And you have a, what? You can't pay. You're going to default again? And you see the village chief kind of just groveling in front of them going, I'm sorry, I'm terribly sorry. Our rice harvest this year has been so meager. We barely have enough to feed ourselves. The higher taxes are... And you see a shut up as the official kind of just puts a boot to his head and grinds it down. If you can't pay, we'll sell your children. And Yun's watching this going, Uncle Sadol! It's like, no, not that! And you see a crick. And you have, Heep! Gija's in attack mode! And you see Gija just like dragging out his dragon arm. You have, calm down, Gija. You go out like that, they'll arrest you whether you do anything or not. It's like, hey, Yona! You see Yona also looking furious, vein popping in her face as she's notching an arrow. You have, huh? She already has her bow drawn. It's like, Yona's like, you can't do that. Letting them see you would be the worst thing we could do. It's more dangerous here than it was in the Earth Tribe. And you see Lord Tolbal, there's some food here. It's like, why, look at that. You have something after all. Doesn't look like there's any rice. Oh well, haul this away. Yeah, that's the food I bought. I worked hard to gather it for this village. That's not for you guys to take. And you hear, don't! You haven't bought that for us! Oh, and you see this poor little kid just running up and grabbing onto the soldier's cape to stop him. You have, oh no! It's like, out of my way. It's like, don't! It's dangerous! You have a stop! It's like, perfect timing. We'll take this child with us. We'll sell her to get the rest of the money we're owed here. And you see the village chief trying to go, please forgive her, she's just a child! And the official just, or the soldier just kicks him and goes, ugh! It's like, Father! It's like, no, let go of me! It's like, if you don't like it, get me some rice and money. Let's go. You have that bastard. And you have a shunk and an ah! As the shoulder goes down, a little spurt of blood. And the official goes, It's like, something flew at me. It's like, who did that? And you see Jeha with a hi there. It's like, it was me. And you see Sinha just kind of crouched behind a wall, just peeking out behind him. And you have Yun going, Jeha! It's like, who are you? You're not from this village, are you? It's like, me? It's like, call me. And he just does a dramatic promise, like, the green dragon who soars through the heavens. And then the soldier's like, be careful, he's an idiot! Yeah, Jeha, what are you? It was Yun. I could stand by quietly if they were only taking things. But do you think I could possibly forgive the sort of revolting people who would abuse a girl? And Yun's like, don't ask me that. He goes, exactly. I used to be a pirate. I'll never have a smooth relationship with government officials anywhere. And you well, guess I have no choice. It's like, huh? Hey? Stay put, Thunder Beast. They know who you... And you see a gurgle. As Hawks put the mop of fur from Sinha's coat on his face, covering it up, making himself look like Cousin Ed. And you have like, huh? Thunder? It's like an even stranger person appeared. It's like, is it a monster? Maybe a hermit? And his stomach is growling. Something's living on his head. You see Sinha's missing his fur. And you see poor Sinha just crouched over, shivering. So he looks so cold. He's like, oh, me? It's like, you can call me the Dark Dragon. Like, there's no need to give him a name. It's like, it's fine. They can't see my face, so they haven't realized who I am. He's like, hey, does that glaive look familiar too? And you see I'm just grabbing it and tossing it off to the side. With he threw it away. It's like, is it a clue to his identity? And you see, hey, and you see Gija also coming out with his giant claw. You have the villagers. It's like, our most powerful weapons are taking a stand. It must be surprised by you monsters, He's like, what's with that hand? A goblin? It's like, your hand's getting the most attention. He's like, this is so bad, Yona. Can't you hide at least? And she goes, we'll stand out no matter what. It's like, I told you, if we're going to stand up by existing, we should just embrace it. And he was just like, huh? It's like, listen up, you snot-nosed scum. You think you can come to our turf and start trouble? All the officials are just completely taken aback by this. Because you have Yona! It's like, a woman? It's like, isn't she a bit young? It's like, their turf. It's like, are you bandits? It's like, we sure are. It's like, say what? It's like, that food, that child, everything in this village belongs to us. This is your one warning. Tuck your tails between your legs and scram like the mangy dogs you are. And you see as Hawk's trying to hold back his laughter. It's like, don't laugh at me, Dark Dragon. And he's like, who, me? And you have Jayha going, one small question. The way you're talking sounds familiar. And Yona goes, I'm copying Captain Gigan. So this is absurd. Chase them out of here. It's like, Yona. It's like, sorry, Yun. I've already committed myself to fighting for the people of Koka. It's like, well then, we have no choice, boss. And you see a kablam slam, thank you ma'am, as all the officials and soldiers get beaten down. And the official goes, do you people think for a moment that you can get away with this? It's like, have you learned your and then it's Yona going, have you learned your lesson? Don't ever come near this village again. If anything happens to this village, we, it's like the Dark Dragon, it's like, and the Happy Hungry Bunch. It's like, right, we won't let you go off so easy. And Yun's like, Iksu, when you said they were going to shake up Koka, what were you picturing? You have Chapter 48 end. As we get to Chapter 49, the Dark Dragon and the Happy Hungry Bunch. And you see a rattle as the officials are making off with the other loot that they've scavenged. Jeff, you officials, stop right there. Jeff, who's that? You have Yona going, this whole area belongs to us now. Hand over all your money if you want to get out if you're alive. It's like, bandits? I have a strange feeling about them. It doesn't look like very many. It's like, go, get rid of them. It's like, big words, little man. Take a good long look and quake with terror at the sight of the Dark Dragon and the Happy Hungry Bunch. And Yun goes, this all started 3 days ago. After driving an official and his men out of Khatan village, Yona said something outrageous. She goes, you know, it might be nice to spend some time as a bandit. So just recently you were a pirate. It's like, true, I guess I can be anything. So don't talk about it like a casual career change. So we told them who we are, so we have to follow through. So this is ridiculous. We have to get out of here fast. They'll be back and they'll have a lot more soldiers next time. The fire, that's Yona going, the fire tribe has lots of villages like this? It's like, yeah. Excuse me. They're all poor and get taxed heavily. It's like, yeah. It's like, fine then. We'll become lawless bandits and expand our turf. By doing that, we'll protect the citizens who've been forced to pay unreasonably high taxes. And Yun goes, it's not that simple. If the villagers fall behind on their payments, the officials will get even stricter about collection. Even if we can handle things in the short term, one wrong move will bring the soldiers from Psycha Palace down on everyone. And you have, that's already a possibility. If I have to ignore starving children and sick people to keep myself safe, then I'll take the danger. It's like, besides, I don't think we'll lose. And you see Hawk going, here's your fluff back. Couldn't see where I was going. And I was like, so warm. It's like, given who we have with us. And Yun's like, but, and Yona's like, Yun, I'm sure you can work out the best way to intimidate the officials. It's like Yona's blatantly playing out to his pride as a self-proclaimed genius pretty boy. And Zeno just bumps in happy-go-lucky and goes, so, that's settled. The Dark Dragon and the Happy Hungry Bunch are in business. It's like, that name won't intimidate anyone. So again, here we are. Yo, who are you people? And you see them all just glaring with the and an evil. So all the villages in these parts are now the property of the Dark Dragon and the Happy Hungry Bunch. We thought we should introduce ourselves. It's like, do as we say if you want to live. You have hungry what? So I have nothing for you to steal. It's like, huh? It's like, eek! And you see, in order to play the part, we had to show all the villagers around here what we're about. If we demonstrated that we were evil and they had to obey us, then they could blame everything on us if the officials complained. And you have the chief going, these are the taxes we just paid to the officials. And Yona's like, if you don't want to get hurt, put that stuff back in your homes. You have huh? They're helping? It's like, bring out every last child in this village. It's like, move it. It's like, what do you want with our children? And you see, here's candy. We'll sell any child who doesn't take it. And you see a gurgle. It's like, even though you're hungry? It's like, they really are helping? It's like, Ewan, which village should we go to next? It goes, right around now, the official should be going to Shu village. It's like, is that far? It's like, kinda. What should we do? They also might return to Catan. And you see Jayha going, I'll pop on over there and keep watch. It's like, oh, that helps a lot. Take care of that then. It's like, Yona, I want you to wait here. She's like, huh? He's like, how come? I'm going too. It's like, our next destination is far off and we don't know when an official could show up. Our fighters are Thunder Beast and, well, we should be alright with just Gija. Yeah, those two powerhouses could handle just about anything. It's like, then Xena will be staying here with the young lady. You know, Gija's grabbing with his dragon claw and going, all you do during battle is run around. I'm going to teach you how the four dragons are supposed to fight. Come with me. You know, Xena going, what? And you see, I'm telling Sinha, take care of her highness, Sinha. And you see Yona just kind of sitting idly by going, I guess it can't be helped. I'm not a fighter after all. And you see as Sinha's playing with Owl, Yona just tries to not so stealthily sneak around his back and try to grab his sword. And with a fwish, he just goes dashing away. And she's like, please, Sinha, lend me your sword. I want to practice. And he just vigorously shakes his head. She's like, ah. It's like, in that case, show me your sword techniques. And you see Sinha just taking his sword out and slashing it through the air in a beautifying manner. And she goes, Sinha's swordsmanship is quick and graceful. If I want to wield a sword, I need to build muscle and a lot of speed. I have to learn his techniques by watching him. I have to memorize every move he makes. She goes, Sinha, why did you learn to use a sword? You have the eyes of the dragon, don't you? And Sinha kind of just stops the swing, mid-swing as he hears this. It's like, if you don't want to talk about it, that's okay too. And then he goes, the person who taught me to use a sword told me never to use the power of my eyes. He's like, how come? It's like, the power is a double-edged blade. It's like, does that mean it'll hurt you too? And he's silent as Yona goes, what kind of power do you have? You see his heart going with a thump, thump, thump as he flashes back to all the bandits he took out with his power. And you have, what of the mother? She took her own life. She couldn't bear the realization that she'd given birth to a cursed child. I hear that when a new blue dragon is born, the old one loses its strength and slowly dies. And you see, finally, I can finally die! It's like, if this isn't a curse, I don't know what is. Now stay back, monster! Don't kill me! And as he's kneeling over, cradling his head, Yona comes up and just kind of gives him a hug and goes, Sinha. He's like, Sinha. She kind of just touches his forehead with him and goes, I'm sorry, Sinha. I won't ask you about it again. And as she tries to take the mask off, he quickly turns around and shakes her off. He's like, can't you take it off? It's like, Sinha, you don't have to use your powers. I just want to look at your eyes when we talk. And she just kind of gives him a gentle smile and she goes, there's no rush. And someday, show me your smile, okay? I bet it's awfully cute when the corners of your mouth turn up. And you have Dark Dragon and the Happy Hungry Bunch's boss lady? And you see one of the kids just coming up next to him. It's like, yeah? It's like trying to get into the role. He's like, I want some candy. And you see his stomach just gurgling and she's like, we don't have any more. It's like, everyone's hungry. It's like, hang on, I'll shoot down a bird. And she goes walking off with the kid following her. And Sinha's thinking, someday show me your smile, okay? And he looks at Owl and goes, she wants to see me smile. What should I do? It's So the corners of your mouth are always turned up, huh? And he's taking his fingers and trying to like turn up the corners of his mouth to mimic a smile. Jeff, the Dark Dragon and the Happy Hungry Bunch. Bandits have arrived. Get rid of them. These two kids come and grab onto Sinha's horns on his mask, and they grab his sword out. Go, take his sword! And they go running off with it. Jeff, bandits aren't so tough. He's like, yeah. He's like, hey boy, we want all the booze and the meat in this village. And women. Call out your parents. And you see an actual troop of bandits coming up. The two kids exchange a look and go, so you're back, huh, Hungry Bunch? We'll defeat you. Oh. You see, no birds anywhere, as Yona's stomach's just gurgling away. It's like, I'm hungry, boss lady. Like, just hold on, I'll find one. It's like, how come the others sure are late? And she hears, ah! It's like, what? More officials? You have Tay sick! Tay sick! And you see this mother just kind of crouching down next to her child. Ugh. He was lying in a pool of his own blood. You see blood just trickling out of his mouth. And Yona's like, a child! Jeff, hey, don't blame me. Teach your brats not to point swords at people. And you see that the bandit leader has got a little cut on his nose, and he's got Sinha's sword in his hand on his shoulder, and you see at the edge is red with blood. He's like, are they real bandits? That's Sinha's sword. How did they get it? He's like, whatever. Bring us all the booze and meat in this village. If you don't, you'll all end up like that brat. He's like, that child's gonna die. Jun, please come back soon. You see the kid that was with her, just kind of tugging at the back of her coat going, boss lady, our village belongs to the Dark Dragon and the Hungry Happy Bunch, right? Beat them all up, just like with the officials. And you see Yona just is standing there, frozen. And you see the kid looking disappointed. He goes, forget it then! As he goes running back towards the villagers. He's like, hey, don't go over there! And you see Yona looking around, and she spots a little retaining wall nearby. So she goes and hops onto it and then jumps onto the roof of a little house nearby. She goes, Huck, everyone, please lend me your strength and your courage. So she goes up on the roof and draws her bow. Goes, you, get out of here now! And you see a whoop as she lets the arrow fly, and it grazes the bandit leader across the arm and knocks him to the ground. Jeff, that hurts! Who did that? I'll kill him! And she goes, go home before I kill you. And she knocks another arrow. And she goes, this region belongs to the Dark Dragon and the Happy Hungry Bunch. We're not handing anything over to you sorry excuses for bandits. You have the Dark Dragon and the Hungry, what was that? She goes, don't make me repeat myself, you snot-nosed brat. You know, the bandit's going, it's a girl. It's like, hey, it's like, if you don't scram, the next arrow goes through your skull. Oh, you see one of the bandits, indicating to the other to go, circle around her. Go, okay, honey, calm down. What exactly have we done wrong? For starters, you attacked a child. Yona looks in surprise as she sees the guy indeed snuck up behind her. Grabs her leg and yanks and rocks her off the roof with a thud. It's like, come on, go easy on her. It's like, is she dead? It's like, nah, she's breathing. And they take off the hood. She goes, whoo, she's better looking than I expected. I figured she'd be ugly. Lucky us, it's mostly dried up old hags in these parts. It's like, get us some booze, make it snappy. And you see a smash and an eek! And you go and you see Yona thinking, Sinha. And he seems to sense it with his dragon sense as he twitches. And he goes running towards the village. Chapter 49 end. And we see, take every scrap of food. We don't want officials showing up. Move it. And you see one of the bandits kind of just hoisted Yona over his shoulder. As we have Chapter 50, Release. And you see, ah! And a grab. Sinha grabs him in the bandit's face and just smashes him into the ground. Jeff, who is that? What's with the mask? Jeff, bastard! As one of the other bandits tries to swing a sword towards him. And with an oof, Sinha just kind of punches him and knocks him down. Jeff, Yona, that girl, give her back. So he's a friend of hers. So he's unarmed. Just kill him. And you see two bandits kind of lunging towards him. And Sinha managed to kick one and elbow the other in the face. Jeff, hey, he's pretty strong. He's not from these parts, is he? The girl's got unusually smooth skin. Like, he may be talented, but with no weapon, he'll go down sooner or later. Ooh. You see one of the bandits kicking him in the back, knocking him into another, who hits him with a club. Oh. You have a shunk as another one stabs him with a blade and pierces it into his side. And as Sinha starts falling, he goes, Yona. It's like it hurts. Like, run, Sinha. It's like, Sinha. And Yona snaps awake. And the bandit goes, oh, you're awake, huh? Just in time for the good part. Do you know that weirdo in the mask? And she looks over at Sinha, who's like keeled over bleeding. She goes, Sinha! It's like, Sinha! Sinha! It's like, let me go! I goes, stop squirming, you're such a hassle. And one of the bandits kind of grabs her face and goes, you'll be dead soon. Take a good long look. She goes, stop! You have what you want. Isn't that enough? Just stop hurting Sinha and these people. And he goes, shut up, as he just backhands her. He goes, you put an arrow in me, remember? She's like, because you hurt a child. So that's right, girl. In these lands, a human life is worth less than nothing. It's kill or be killed. If you don't want to starve, if you want anything good in your life, you have to take it. Sometimes that means killing the people who have it. And she goes, that's a horrible way to live. And he goes, do you have a better idea? No one in this land has any hope. How do you propose we live, huh? Do you know how it feels to be so hungry that killing people seems like a fine idea? And he goes, get rid of that mask guy however you like. We're going on ahead. And she's like, Sinha. It's like, Sinha's like, stop, don't kill him. It's like, I hate this. I hate this. I'm completely powerless. I don't have a better way to offer them. Right now, I can't even save just one person I care for. And Sinha glances up and sees her being carried away and goes, Yona is calling for me. It's like, Yona is crying. It's like, give Yona back to me. You see, he stopped moving. Is he dead? It's like, I'll finish him off. It's like, wait, let's see his face first. He's wearing that strange mask. He's probably crying like a baby. And you see, as they reach down to take off his mask, you see his piercing dragon eyes just glaring at them with the scree. What? It's like golden eyes. It's like, what? What's with his eyes? You see, listen, Blue Dragon. So I can't look away. My body won't. Those eyes are cursed. It's like it won't. You see, if you use them, you'll suffer for it too. You must never use them. And you see Sinha looking all babadooky. You know, stop! Don't look at, you know, ugh. You see a thud and a thump, thump, thump as the bandits all just start dropping. As the two that are walking away with Yona look back with a, what the? And you see Sinha also just glaring at him with his piercing gaze. Javin, and a shudder. As they drop Yona to the ground with a thud. Javin, human eyes can't look like that, can they? And you see a Sinha, and you see the bandits just start trembling. It's like, how did I stop shaking? It's like, no, I can't move. My hands, my legs, my fingers. It's like, what's happening? It's like, what are you? It's like, all I can see is a huge monster coming to devour me. I really love this. I really do. And he says, who would stop? Stop! Stay away! And you see a Thrum. Oh, it feels like, it looks like he's basically imagining like his arm being hacked off. And he screams as he kind of clutches at it. He's like, my arm! My arm! You know, it's like, what about his arm? He's like, my arm! It's like, calm down, your arm's fine. She looks at him and goes, Sinha. It's like, Sinha, what's the matter? It's like, Sinha! It's like, Yona is calling for me. It's like, give Yona back to me. It's like, yes, that's right, Yona is in danger. I have to hurry and get her back. But I can see. Everything's so vibrant. This is incredible. Being able to see feels so good. That person is terrified. He looks so small. It's like, I'm looking down at everyone with my enormous dragon eyes. It's like, yes, I've done this before. And you see him flashing back to the bandits he killed originally when he was a kid. It's like those massive grown-ups looked so tiny. What was I doing that time? like, what was I trying to protect? What had I lost? It's like, why? Why was I not supposed to use this power? I want to see more of this vibrant world. Thinks back to the villagers going, "Stay back, monster!" It's like the man down there is missing an arm. He looks smaller and smaller. I feel like I could look right inside him and see his art. It's like, there it is. His heart. It's so small. Almost cute. If I touch it, will it break? Because you have chapter 50 end. We get to chapter 51, losing yourself. You have, there it is. Your hearts are so small. Which one should I choose? And you see he's looking at both the bandits. It's like, I want to see more. More. It's like, show me. Stop. It's like, stay back, you monster. And you see the dark-haired bandits trying to run away. Yeah, and a chomp. As the shadow dragon takes a bite out of his leg and rips it off. And the bandit's just screaming as he's clutching his leg, going, oh, my leg! It's like, where are you going? It's impossible for you to escape my gaze. I can see your heart so clearly. The sharp eyes of a flying bird in the distance, the stars twinkling in the bright sky. My eyes can perceive everything in the world. With one sharp glare, I can make your entire body shut down. I can stop your heart. Now, show me more. Show me more, puny humans. My dragon's eyes haven't been unveiled in 14 years. It's like, more. It's like, stop, please. You can have the girl back. Please, forgive me, please. And the world is so much more interesting this way. It's like my arm. You see the villagers going, what's going on? And you see Yona's like, what's happening to Sinha? They all collapsed as soon as they saw his eyes. It has to be the power of the dragon eyes. He's intimidating them somehow. And they see and he would, no, stay away! As he's kind of slowly just walking closer and closer to the dark-haired bandit. You see one of the dark dragon's claw like just reaching towards his chest. And Yona comes and intercedes between them and goes, Sinha, stop! It's enough. They said they're not taking me away, alright? Not to mention you're injured. Control your powers. Okay? And you see a shove as he just pushes her out of the way. He's like, he doesn't recognize me? She's like, he's enjoying this. He's trying to kill people with his power. She goes, Sinha, stop it. Don't do this. You won't be able to turn back. I thought you hated using your power. And he shoves her out of the way again. And she just gets an angry, determined look on her face. And you have a, hey you, aren't you affected? If you look at his eyes, he'll devour you. And she's like, devour? It's like, Sinha? Devour me? She goes, Sinha, look right into my eyes. I need you to look directly at me. If you want to devour me, if that's what you really want, then go right ahead if that'll satisfy you. But no matter what, I'll never avoid your eyes. Come on, what's the matter? Sinha! And she looks into his eyes. Goes, his eyes are so beautiful. I feel like they really could suck me right in. I might be offering myself up for the blue dragon to consume. And she sees like tears streaming down her face, goes, but somehow my heart is surging with emotion. I'm looking into his eyes for the very first time. Sorrow, suffering, even those few moments of joy, everything he locked away behind his eyes has been released. He's finally seeing the world. His eyes are shining like a newborn's. I truly do love your eyes. She goes, Sinha, I'm right here with you. No matter what your true nature is, no matter who you hurt, when I took you from that hole in the ground, I was choosing to live with you, to keep on living. What I wish with my whole heart is for you to live freely. I'll never reject your powers. They're part of you. They're proof that you're alive. Gija and Jeha have to live with their powers too. But this is different, isn't it? Right now you're doing the thing you least wanted to do. I won't let you do something you don't want to. Don't let your power overwhelm you. I'll protect you, just like you protected me. If you can hear me, answer me, Sinha, my moonlight. And she rests her head against him, and you see that the light's bench, like, just blowing away the dark dragon. She goes, Yona? He's like, Yona. It's like, you finally heard my voice. Yeah, but I, and you see you toppling over. She goes, Sinha! It's like, hold on, Sinha. It's like, did he collapse from the stab wound? It's like, I'll get bandages. And he's like, Yona, keep away from me. I don't know what I'll do. It's like, run while I'm paralyzed. It's like, paralyzed? It's like, hurry. It's like, my eyes are able to paralyze any human I target. Hands, feet, heart. But if I use my power, the paralysis reflects back on me. It's the curse turning on me. She goes, so that's why he called his eyes a double-edged blade. Like the power shoots out and it crushes my enemies. But it meant no one wanted to come near me ever again. I was told not to use it. He's thinking back, Ow. He's like, I'm sorry, Ow. He's like, stay away from me. He's like, I'm weak, disgusting, a monster. He's like, I'm scared that my power will make Yona hate me. And he goes, I'm afraid of no one ever calling me by my name again. And you see Yona just kind of crouching down next to him, and she covers his eyes and goes, I see you're upset that your power doesn't work the way you'd like it to. It makes sense, you're human. Everyone's like that. But the way to deal with that isn't to close your eyes and seal it away. You need to open your eyes and make your power your own. People who can do that are strong. I like people like that. You and I can become strong together. Does that sound okay, Sinha? It's like, together? It's like, From now on? It's like, of course. It's like, I can be here. And she just takes his hand, gives it a gentle squeeze, and tears start flowing out of his eyes. Jab, my hand shouldn't be able to feel anything, but the warmth of Yona's hand was her answer. When I opened my eyes, the claw marks left by my power were right there. Yona told me not to hide from even those contemptible feelings of enjoyment. I'm still afraid, but if Yona will call me by my name, I will go anywhere. She named me after the light of the moon. I want to carry that name proudly. Chapter 51 end. You have Chapter 52, an arrow piercing a stone. You have, later, they've made up a little temporary tent, and Yona sticks her head and goes, Yun, how's Sinha doing? He's fine. I rubbed some senju herb on his wounds so they're healing up quickly. It's like, thank goodness. And you see Zeno just rushing and going, Blue Dragon, do you recognize Zeno? Are you alive? Are you well? Can you play? He's like, hey, quit making a fuss, Yellow. He can't play with you. You see, as if the gut wound wasn't bad enough, he's recovering from unleashing all the power he'd been holding in. He'll need to rest for a while to get back on his feet. He's like, is he still paralyzed? It's like, I guess he's used his power before, so it makes sense to assume he'll recover eventually. It's like, I see. It's like, good. You see, Sinha, don't push yourself too hard. If you need anything, I'll do whatever I can to help. You have Zeno too! And you see Owl's just bought in an acorn and he's trying to cram it into Sinha's mouth to make him eat. You see, dragon powers are very difficult to control. If you're not used to using them, if you're not sure what to do, ask me for help. I'll do whatever I can. You have Zeno too! And Gija gets mad and goes, all you do is play around during battle. You don't use dragon powers at all. It's like, because Zeno's role is to make sure everyone has fun. It's like, hey, white and yellow, go somewhere else if you're going to fight. And Jeha's like, young people sure have a lot of energy. And you see, we're back. As he and Huck walk up. We dumped the bandits on the side of a public road. Some official should pick them up eventually. It's like, I caught a bird too. It's like, wow, good work. It's like, Your Highness, the village will be holding a funeral for the child the bandits killed. And you see the parents just kind of grieving nearby as they light a fire for the child. And you have Yun going, we couldn't save him. as Yona grabs his hand and squeezes. He goes, Yona, I'm figuring out how to cultivate the senju herb. If we can do that, we'll be able to cure a lot more illnesses and injuries. So I've got to learn more about medicine too. He's like, yeah, I have to work hard too, until there are no more sites like this in Fire Tribe lands. And you see, oh right, I can't use the tent tonight. He's like, I'm sorry, Sinha's still recovering and I've got to stay nearby to care for him. And you see a little note going, Yun and Yona usually sleep in the tent. Everyone else sleeps outside. And Yona's like, oh, it's fine, I'll sleep outside. And Gijo's like, we could never let you do that. Jaeha's like, you could sleep beside me, Yona. So there are bugs outside. He's like, thanks, but I'll sleep with Huck. You see Huck was carrying some firewood nearby, drops it all with a clatter. Do you have a no? He's like, sure, that's fine. It's like, it's risky, Yona. The Thunder Beast is a real beast. And you see Huck just throwing a piece of wood at him. It's like, I'm not like you, droopy eyes. And you see a throb as Gijo's like, why does my chest ache? Am I getting sick? And Zeno comes up with a glomp and goes, why not sleep with Zeno sometime, young lady? And she's like, sorry, Zeno, I'd rather be with Huck. And everyone's just really in shock, and Huck's fallen over from the shock. And then Zeno's like, okay, Zeno will sleep next to the green dragon then. If you need Zeno, just call. It's like, Zeno usually cuddles up to the blue dragon. And Jaeha's like, I'll pass, thank you. And Gijo's like, Yun, it's an emergency. My heart is hurting so badly. Yun's like, sorry, there's nothing I can do. He's like, it's incurable? And Huck's like, care to explain this? And she's like, what do you mean? He's like, nothing. And you see him propped up against a tree as Yona's settling in next to him. And she's like, doesn't this remind you of when it was just the two of us? And you see, not really, no. As you see, everyone ended up sleeping together, all huddled. You see later that night with the whoosh, as I think Yona's trying to make a play for Huck's sword, and he grabs her hand, stop with a tug. And then, he's like, if you're going to attack me in my sleep, you should at least try to make it sexy, your highness. It's like, but you won't teach me how to use a sword otherwise. It's like, is that why you wanted to sleep with me? And she's just like, as she nods. And then you see Yun peeking up from the tent going, thought so. Don't cry, Thunder Beast. And you see Jaeha just trying not to laugh. Goes, don't laugh, I'll never stop if I start. It's like, did your heart stop aching? It's like, I'm not sure. You see it, come over here. As Huck angrily leads her away. It's like, sorry for waking you up. It's like I could sleep in that situation anyway. It's like, huh? It's like, nothing. It's like, so, swords again? It's like, I know you don't like it, so I've been practicing on my own. But I can only do so much by myself. I'm more frustrated than ever by how powerless I am. And Huck goes, it's not your fault you couldn't save that child. He's like, I keep thinking, what if I'd been stronger? Could I have saved that child? Could I have freed myself from those bandits? Could I have kept Sinha from getting hurt? I have to get stronger. Stronger and stronger. So please, Huck, I want to be strong. Teach me to use a sword. And you'll stop it. You're my master. A master should never lower her head to her servant. She goes, so what should I do then? And he's silent before he goes, order me to do it. If you give me a sincere order, I can't refuse you. And with a look of determination on her face, Yona goes, Huck, you will teach me swordsmanship. That's an order. He kneels before her and goes, I'm yours to command, princess. And you see later at Saika Palace, all the bandits are tied up and trussed up in front of the officials. Javin, who are these people? So they're bandits, Lord Tolbal. You told us to capture them. He's like, no, these aren't the ones I told you to capture. I want the group of men who are like monsters, led by a girl. They call themselves the Dark Dragon and the Happy Hungry Bunch. And all the soldiers are like, what kind of name is that? Is that a joke, Lord Tolbal? Like, how dare you mock me? Other people saw them. And you hear a clear the way. It's like, what do you want? It's like, who do you think I am? It's like someone who wants to be trampled, apparently. And you see, General King Sujin's sons, Lord Kang Kyoga. And you see, forgive my disrespect, as they all bow before him. And it's like, I beg your pardon, Lord Kyoga, but I wish to speak with you. Near Katan village of the Fire Tribe, there are some ruffians who are defying us. No, defying General Sujin. It's like, Lord Toolball. It's like these dreadful individuals have seized control of impoverished villages and are stealing the taxes we've gathered from the people. And you see, a step aside. Dealing with such people is your job. It's like, yes, but those people can fly and make their arms grow larger. They're monsters. It's like, huh? It's like, and unbelievable as it sounds, they call themselves the Dark Dragon and the Happy Hungry Bunch. And you have Kyoga going, trample this man. You have, sir, it's like, please listen. Lord Kyoga, as defense chief, you control all the Fire Tribe soldiers. You have the ability to do something about them. And you see the bandit... Oh no, sorry. Oh no, I guess. So it is the bandit going, it sounds familiar. The Dark Dragon and the Happy Hungry Bunch. That monster that took my arm was protecting a girl who said she belonged to that group. She said that area belonged to them. And you see, open the gates. So what a boorish civil servant. His name was Tol Bal, right? He'll drag down the soldiers' morale. Remove him from office. You have, yes, sir. So where is my father? He has yet to return. And Taejun? I believe he's in the garden. He's a disgrace. I'll visit the training grounds later. Don't let the soldiers neglect their training. Those who do will be punished as deserters. And you see, yes, sir. So as always, we have to stay on guard around Lord Kyoga, the general's favorite son. He's harsh and unemotional, but he might well become the next general of the Fire Tribe. But then there's his younger brother, Lord Taejun. It's like, he's useless. He was always a disappointment, but ever since the coronation, he's gotten so much worse. I guess the rumors that he was trying to take the throne by wooing Princess Yona were true. So he's depressed that he wasn't able to take the crown? It's like, he sure dreamed big. If Lord Taejun became king, this nation would fall apart overnight. You see them all just laughing. As you see Saika Palace Central Garden, it's like red. A red flower slipping through my fingers. Such a brief life. A wicked flower. And you see the most depressing looking man you've seen, with the Fire Tribe Chief's disappointing second son, Kang Taejun. And Java, you idiot! As Kyoka comes and just kicks him off. He goes, how long are you going to laze around and do no work? You're a disgrace to our tribe. All of Koka laughs at the mere mention of your name. A worthless wretch like you is better off dead. Go off and kill yourself somewhere deep in the mountains where you can't bother us. And you see Taejun just does not care. He's still just looped over the railing where he was kicked. And Kyoga just goes over to him and goes, I could toss you from here if you'd like. It's like, my lord, if he fell from here, the worst he'd suffer would be some broken limbs. And you see Taejun going, I don't mind. I should have been punished for murdering Princess Yona. Please take my life. And you go, so you don't fear death anymore, coward? You used to flee if a sword was so much as pointed at you. That princess was nothing but a figurehead. Who cares if she's dead? The kingdom of Koka won't suffer for her loss. In fact, father was quite pleased at having one less thing to worry about. That worthless girl is irrelevant. You need to snap out of it and devote yourself to the Kang family. And he goes, worthless girl? He thinks back to the fierce look of determination in Yona's eyes. He goes, but then, why does she linger in my heart even now? As he starts tearing up. Kyoga's just like, you're such a fool that I'd be embarrassed to kill you. I no longer acknowledge a man like you as my younger brother. Toss him out of the palace, would you? Yeah, Lord Kyoga, I don't think Lord Sujin would approve. And I'd be unemployed. In that case, I have a job for you. So, huh? I hear a group of bandits that set up shop in some poor Fire Tribe villages. They're attacking government officials and stealing taxes. I don't know how much of that is true. I want you to capture them. I won't let you back into the palace until you do. And you see, what? You're going to suppress the bandits? Yeah, Fire Tribe's Southern Government Office. It's like, that's right. General Kang Sunjin's son, Kang Taejun, has come from Saika Palace to accomplish this task. I'm Hook Chi, his assistant. It's like, wow, someone important came. Do they mean the hungry whatever bandits who attack government officials and steal tax payments? I guess this shows how seriously Psycho has taken the situation. You have right down to business. So we have Chapter 53, Lord Taejun's Death Wish. Lord Taejun is worn out from his long journey from Psycho. You have what? You have, ever since that day, everything I've seen has been the color of ash. Every time I shut my eyes, all I can see is the brilliant flame of her. It won't fade. Because of me, that majestic girl is no longer in this world. If I could only turn back time. If I could go back to that day. And you see, Sir Hook-chi, didn't Lord Taejun come here to fight the bandits? It's like, well, kind of. It's like he's crying. So then why does he sit there and stare outside every day? It's like, as you've no doubt realized, he's quite pathetic. It's like, don't send us pathetic people. You have Lord Tallball has been dismissed, and we've fallen behind on tax collection. If your master's so easily worn out, you should go back to the palace. It's like, believe me, I'd go back if I could. It's like, are you positive those bandits even exist? There's not nearly enough information on them. It's like, well, we've never seen them, but there's no doubt that officials are being attacked. It's like, I just find the eyewitness accounts hard to believe. So give me an example. It's like a man whose arms grow bigger, a green-haired man who flies through the sky, a hairy masked monster, and a trashy girl who's in charge. They call themselves the Dark Dragon and his hungry friends. So like, see? Hard to believe, right? So are you sure that's the name? So the trashy girl part sounds interesting at least. It's like, anyway, you have to take care of them quickly. If we don't collect any taxes, who knows what our superiors will do? It's like, working in a government office must be tough. Truly must be. And you see a bam! And an injured soldier comes in and goes, They got us! And it's them! The Dark Dragon and the Hungry Family showed up! He's like, huh? Really? Is that what they're called? It's like they interfered with our tax collection again. It's like, curses! How far will they go to make fools of us? It's like, Lord Taejun, now's the time to fight! And you see him just depressed, flopping over. He goes, I am racked with sin. Why punish me? I beg you. It's like Lord Taejun is praying at the moment. It's like, please go home. Yeah, Sir Hook-chi, please do something. You see Lord Taejun's like, Lord Taejun. Lord K. Taejun, when you delivered a lock of Princess Yona's hair to King Suwon, you secretly kept a few strands for yourself. And you see him just reeling in shock. He's like, are you awake now, Lord Taejun? He's like, how do you know about that? It's like, what's more, you're carrying them on your person right now. And he screams with it, ee! It's like, the bandits have appeared. Come on, let's go, hurry. He's like, Hook-chi, how do you? And you see, no, they ran away. And you see them going to the site where the tax collectors were ambushed. If they're alive, the bandits are awfully strong, but they're not murderers. At least not yet. It's like, oh, are they fake bandits? It's like, no, wait. I suppose it's not impossible. If they are frauds and we search the villages in the area, we might find the taxes we already collected from them. It's like, right, I'll head to Catan village first. And you see, get a grip, Lord Taejun. Otherwise, we'll leave you behind. He's still going, look, gee, how did you know? Leaving him behind sounds good. He's like an old man now. You see a Catan village with a smash as the officials are going around, breaking everything, going, search the entire house. If you find anyone suspicious, bring them to me. He's like, what are you doing? Please stop. And you see a move. They shove people out of the way. He's like, how crude. You have an and a talk. As a little kid just throws a tone at Taejun. Goes, get out! He's like, get out of our village! And you see him just coming and grabbing the kid going, stop that! You need to hide! It's like, this is bad. Judging from his clothes, it's a high-rank nobleman. One with horrible taste. And you see him just giving this dead-eyed look as he's like, he's gonna kill us. And he's like, I'm sorry for ever being born. It's like, come on, he's very sensitive right now. Don't pick on him. And it's like, he's crying? It's like, I'm sorry. I can't blame you. Sometimes I feel like throwing rocks at him too. This got weird fast. Joe, what's the matter? Come on, let's hide. This seems like a hassle. It's like, it's easiest to say he has love problems. Something like that. It's like, I don't have love problems. That's not what this is. don't lump me in with something as frivolous as love. What I feel is, I don't even know what it is anymore. It's like, wow, he really is a pain. It's like, all I know is that I've committed a grave sin. In that moment, I should have died along with her. So could you take a turn listening to him? It's like, not a chance. It's like, we're lucky if we have anything to eat most days. We can't pay any more taxes. Please leave. And she's like, it is a citizen's duty to pay one's taxes. And he's like, is it your duty to pay exorbitant taxes so that noblemen can live in luxury and the kingdom can have a larger army than we need? Shouldn't you do something about this food shortage and all the sick people? He goes, maintaining the army is how we can defend the fire tribe. And Yun's like, that's an excuse. It's like, whatever. We didn't come here to collect taxes. We came to catch bandits. It's like, bandits? Do you know them? They're called the starving bandits or something. Yeah, we found something. It's like, it's the taxes the bandits stole. They really were hiding them. Do you suppose they're harboring the bandits themselves? It's like, no, we're not. It's like, you said you came to catch bandits, right? Here's your chance to do your job. You see J-Hodge is coming leaping in with a, well done, you government officials, as he just rains down a bunch of his throwing daggers from above. And a bump as one of the soldiers, or the officials, backs up. And Keita comes up behind him and goes, where are you going? Weren't you looking for us? Like, they're here. It's the famished family. Jeff, the who? It's like, monsters. It's like, right, didn't I tell you? And Daedon's watching all this going, astounding. The god of death has appeared. He's just Keita's giant dragon claw. He's finally come to take my life. It's like such a fitting end. Father, mother, brother, I'm so sorry I couldn't repay you for all that you've done for me. I'll make sure I do that for my next life. And he just opens his hand looking all beatific, like ready to accept death. And you see it with a grab. As he just stops, like, what's wrong, god of death? Hurry and kill me. He's trying to tug his claw towards him. It's like, no. Who are you calling a god of death? Like, now's your chance to take me. I might be too scared tomorrow. This could be your only chance. Like, what's wrong with you? Let go of me. And J-Hud just comes flying in from behind and stomps on him. So what's the holdup? If that's what he wants, put him out of his misery. So I can't do that to an unarmed foe. This hand is a divine. Like, And you see, so this village really was harboring bandits. It's like, oh please. This whole area is our turf. Why wouldn't we stash our booty someplace like this? We've got friends all over Fire Tribe lands, Lord Tae-jun. You see J-Hud just stepping on his head. Yeah, Lord Tae-jun, are you alive? And so she's just like waving from the bushes. It's like, once again, I couldn't even manage to die. Oh, Princess Yona, when will I finally meet you in the afterlife? Jeff, hurry up, boys. Get them out of here. They're scaring our pet villagers. Jeff, huh? With a zing. It's like, that voice. But it can't be. That voice. And you see him getting up, just looking furious, gritting his teeth. Jeff, hey, looks like their boss still has some fight in him. So give it a rest, official. Don't bother fighting. And you see him still trying to get up his boots, still grinding into his head. Jeff, well. It's the first person I've ever seen trying to get back up after I stomped him. See, the blood is burning in my veins. For whatever reason, right now, all that matters is seeing the person who's speaking. My entire body is crying out. Jeff, hey, look. It's like that voice. Lord Tae-jun's moving. It's like, but how? That voice is, Lord Tae-jun was so exhausted, but somehow stronger than that monster? If that voice is... And you see, as he just pushes himself up, what that voice is. It's like, Lord Tae-jun, he's really doing it. Jeff, I'm up. Jeff, wow, Lord Tae-jun. It's like, Lord Tae-jun. It's like, be quiet. No one make a sound. It's like, my lord. It's like, I want to hear that voice one more time. And Jeff, huh? Keita just carries him onto his shoulder with the arm and just tosses him with the, you're in our way. And you have Lord Tae-jun as he goes flying. Chapter 53, the end. Alright, come on, where are you? So I guess some quick closing thoughts before I wrap this up. So it is good to be back reading Yona. It is as good as I remember. I did really appreciate and love that this chapter finally gave us some development for Sinha, whom I think is the one we kind of got the least for. Even with regards to his arc, because he's kind of like floating around the edges of it. We're getting like a little bit of backstory here and there. So it's good to see like a little bit more of an explanation of what his powers are, like how they work, kind of like how they. This is the thing I'm curious about. Like I'm curious if the powers themselves are the ones like warping Sinha, or warping Sinha, due to what they are, like the fact that they paralyze people, like you can cause them to see like lifelike illusions and things like that. But I also do wonder, like based on like how it was laid out, like his background and his self-loathing, I wonder if that also somehow affects his powers and like how they react to him, and how they react to him, and like how they make him kind of act out to be evil. So it'll be interesting to see like more of that as we get more into like seeing him use his powers more, as we get more background on the dragons, like who they were, like the ancestors were, things like that. Apart from that, I was not expecting King Taejun to make a reappearance. I guess I should have expected it, but no, he wasn't really super high up on the list of characters I was expecting or looking forward to coming back. But it'll be interesting to see where his arc, goes from here after his like whole depressive episode with, oh no, I killed Yona, like what he's gonna do when she finds out she's alive. So that'll be interesting. Apart from that, not too much more I think I want to say right now. I'm gonna try to sit with this a little bit first, and I'll see if I can do maybe like a mini review video or something, or like a TikTok or something, to get more concrete thoughts out. But series is still good, still enjoying it. So we're going to dive straight into Volume 10 as soon as I finish recording this video. So look forward to that. So like I said at the beginning of this video, channel update should be out next week. Nothing really has changed. Plans pretty much stay the same. So if you're looking at what read-throughs and stuff are coming next, just go give that a watch. With that said, as always, thank you all for tuning in. If you like my content, please do like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Really love to get past the 150 subscriber limit sometime soon. And until next time, this is Ash. Talk to you all later.